In today's video, I'm gonna go over the 10 signs that you might be an Enneagram Type 6. If you're new here, I'm Hillary, your certified Enneagram life coach, and I love to teach the Enneagram in the simplest and easiest way possible. And before we jump in, don't forget to push the subscribe button and push the bell that's right next to it, because that'll let YouTube know that you want to get notified every time a video goes live, which is every week. And this is a series, and I just want to let you guys know that I have already covered the 10 signs you might be: a Type 1, a Type 3, a Type 4, a Type 5, and a Type 9. And so this is the 6th one that I'm releasing, and I will link all those down below if you'd like to go give those a watch too. But before we get started, I do want to say, if you are trying to decide between a Type 6 and any other type, I recommend that you look at the cores first. Before watching a video like this, look into the core desire, core fear, core longing, core weakness. Those 4 things are going to help you decide between a Type 6 and any other type, especially if you have a Type 6 in your top 3 of your test results. Look at the cores of all your results, and that will help you decide between being a 6 and any other type. The 10 signs that I'm sharing today, the 10 signs you might be a Type 6, they're very behavior based. The reason why I say look into the cores is because those are your why. The why you do what you do, what motivates you, what drives you. All of those things are what the cores are of each type. And so that's what I want to recommend. Look at the cores first. And I have already covered this in a video. It's actually a Type 6 video in around a minute, and I will link that right here and in the description box below. And I'd say go give that a watch if you really want to know what drives a Type 6 if you're trying to decide between a Type 6 and any other type. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. What is the first sign that you might be a Type 6? Sign number 1 is you are always on high alert. 6s always have an escape plan, a self-defense plan, a plan for literally every situation possible. They want to protect not only themselves, but other people too. Truth be told, if I was ever in a situation where something crazy was happening, like say we're in an airplane and something's going wrong, I'm gonna be like, oh, please, please, please let there be a Type 6 here. Because when they got on the plane, they would have looked at everything. They would have thought of all these worst case scenarios and had a plan A, plan B, plan C. And so I'm always like, okay, where's the Type 6? We need the Type 6. Okay, so let's move on to sign number 2. Sign number 2 is you have a great emergency fund. I've heard 6s are super amazing at saving money, and this makes sense to me. What is one of their core desires? Safety and security. And I think having an emergency fund is totally in alignment with that desire. 6s are planners and worst case scenario thinkers, so an emergency fund would be right up their alley. Sign number 3, giving and receiving gifts can cause you anxiety. I think what this has to do with is the 6 can overthink what to get somebody. They might like really spin, think of like, well, what if they'd like this? Or what if they'd like this? And it's like so many decisions, it could cause them anxiety when they have to just like narrow down and buy the gift. I think definitely there are 6s out there that love giving gifts. I'm not trying to say you don't love it. I'm just trying to say that the process involved might cause some anxiety. And receiving gifts, I believe this can cause them a little anxiety too, because why? What if they don't like the gift? What if they're like, they open it up in front of you and they're like, oh, I love it, but they're not really good fakers. And so I think that can cause some anxiety of kind of being the center of attention. They're not going to like that, and having to open a gift and be like, oh, wow, this is amazing. Like that can be really hard for a Type 6, I think. All right, so sign number 4, you have a hard time trusting people who give way too many compliments, which this one is so hard for me because I give a lot of compliments. Words of encouragement is my love language, and so I'm always trying to see the best in everyone, but I can see how a 6 would be like, I don't know if I trust you. They might start to think like, what are your motives? What do you want from me? I think that's what could go through the 6's mind if somebody's giving way too many compliments. Number 5, you have analysis paralysis. You can analyze until you become paralyzed, and then you might need to analyze some more. A 6 will ask a lot of questions, lots of hows, lots of whys, just lots of questions and trying to figure things out. And this can lead to procrastination. Why? Because making a decision can be hard, right? If there's so many options available and you have to kind of sort through all your own questions and concerns to get to the answer or to get to what needs to be done, can be hard for a 6. And I think people might actually see this as indecisive, but I actually don't think it is. I think a 6 is just trying to weigh all their options, which I can appreciate. Okay, so moving along to sign number 6, people say you are a pessimist, but you think No, 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 no. I'm a realist. I looked at the definition of a realist and I wrote it down right here, and it said a person who accepts a situation as it is and is prepared to deal with it accordingly. And guys, the example that they used had me laughing because I think it's just so spot on. It said the example, I'm a realist with no time for your make-believe. Yep. I think that's definitely a type 6. But the sad thing I think is some people can think that your realism is negative and not positive because it's so worst case scenario thinking, but I just think that you get a bad rap sometimes because I do think that there are plans that need to be thought out thoroughly, right? And it's like, okay, but what if this happens? But what if this happens? Maybe not to the extent, but I do see the value in worst case scenario thinking. But I do have to say, you might not know this, I am a type 9 on the Enneagram and I go towards a 6 in stress, and so maybe that is why. Sign number 7, you are extremely reliable. People go to you for backup plans, advice, help. Words that I would use to describe a type 6 is problem solver, trustworthy, loyal, compassionate. I would use those words to describe the type 6. And I think all of those words kind of build upon that base that a type 6 is reliable. All right, so sign number 8. What are some jobs that would interest a type 6? I would say teachers, professors, anyone in the teaching field or even the caretaking field, nurses and doctors and things like that. I think all of those are right up the alley of being a type 6. And especially because the type 6, they are planners. They are really good at what they do. I think those jobs could be great for the type 6. Some other jobs would be firefighter, detective, special agent, maybe CIA or FBI, because guys, the type 6 has there's a phobic 6 and a counterphobic 6. And so that definitely plays a part in some of the jobs that the type 6 would want. I also would say a lifeguard and an engineer. And when I was thinking about like the 6-wing 5, I thought about like some kind of job with like an analyst in the name or in the title, budget analyst, financial analyst. I don't know. There's probably an engineering analyst. Like analyst, I would say would be in that job title if you were a 6-wing 5. And for 6-wing 7s, surprisingly, actors and actresses and comedians and entertainers and different things like the authors, different things like that. A lot of those people are 6-wing 7s. Sign number 9, 2020 did not catch you by surprise. Okay, so maybe like what happened in 2020, COVID, obviously we didn't really see that. I don't think people saw that coming, right? But like the fact that we had to go into like this like planner mode of like, do we have enough toilet paper? Do we have enough water? Do we have enough supplies? Anything like that, I just don't think it caught a type 6 by surprise. I think you guys already had it. I do. I think you are planners. I think that you are worst case scenario thinkers. I know a really good friend, a family friend of ours is a type 6, and his garage, he already had all that. He's been collecting that stuff for years. And so he did not get caught by surprise by 2020. Yeah, I just think a type 6 is planned for worst case scenarios in all different areas their whole life. And so what happened this past year, I just don't think caught him by surprise as much as it did all of us, especially me. Caught me by surprise. Definitely did not stock up on anything and kind of was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Because I go towards a 6 in stress. So I'm not a 6, so I didn't have it already, but I go towards a 6 and I was like, oh no. And so, okay, I'm totally rambling now. So let's go ahead and move on to the last sign, which is sign number 10. And what is that sign? You have wondered if you really are a type 6. You've doubted it, you've wondered about it, you've kind of went back and forth between a 6 and a different number. And then I also think you have questioned the Enneagram as a whole. I just don't think 6s fully trust it at first. And if you are a 6, let me know. Did you, when you first heard about the Enneagram and all this hype and everything, were you like, oh yeah, sign me up? Or were you like, what's the validity of it? How valid is the Enneagram? Where are they getting their information? And then also I wonder, did you trust your test results? If you had a 6 in your top 3 and you read about it and you were like, wow, I definitely like can relate to this 6. And as soon as you started to put that label on, were you like, oh no, maybe I'm not a 6. Your mind starts racing and you're like, what if I'm something else? What if I'm a 2? What if I'm a 5? What if I'm a 4? Did stuff like that happen to you after you started to decide upon being a 6? I would love to know. Please let me know in the comments what happened. what your journey was on deciding that you are a type 6. All right, guys, so that's all I have. We are at the end. Those are the 10 signs that you might be an Enneagram Type 6. And like I said at the beginning, don't go by just these 10 signs. Make sure the core fear, core desire, core longing, core weakness really align with who you are also. Let me know in the comments, which one of the 10 really stood out to you? Which one were you like, oh gosh, she read my mail. Yup, I could totally relate to that. I would love to know. And before I let you go, I never like to end one of these without letting you know if you've gotten here and you're like, gosh, I think I'm a type 6, or now I don't know if I'm a type 6. I didn't relate to a lot of those. I just wanted to let you know I do offer a Discover You typing session. It's a 1-hour session with me over Zoom, and I will link that information in the description box below. Go ahead and go check that out if you are wanting somebody to come alongside of you in this journey and help you figure out if you are indeed a type 6 or any other type. But that's all I have for today, guys. Until next week, bye guys.